What is up, everybody? In this video, we'll be taking a look at the Studio Series Age of Extinction Leader Class Optimus Prime. Before I get started with this review, I just want to say this is my opinion. We're all entitled to our own opinions. In that case, let's get right into it. My best description of this figure is a unpolished stone due to budget restrictions. And it's clear as day where we're talking about. And if you've had this figure already or seen videos of this figure, you already know what I'm talking about. I mean, might as well go ahead and point it out. The backpack is massive. It's basically a glorified shelf armor, especially with how the legs are at the back. And then this really terrible smokestacks on the side, even though they're supposed to be right there. Now, this figure is a leader class figure, and it is in that leader class budget, and what they were trying to accomplish does not fit well in the modern leader class budget. Now, is it a bad figure? For serious collectors, yeah, it is. But if you're just getting a decent Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, it's not a bad figure at all. I mean, there are go-arounds, and literally the only way you can go around this and make it a slightly better figure is removing the backpack. And the way you do that is just come to the top right here and just unpeg these side pieces, and then what you're gonna do is just pull it out, rotate it just to get some clearance, and then pop it off right here. Now once you do that, you can just fold this piece in, fold that in, and then that'll be just like that. This makes him ever so slightly better. Obviously, it makes him better from this angle now because you can't see a ginormous backpack. And even from the side view, it's not as bad as it was until you get to the bottom, of course. But from the back, it does clean up pretty well. And the smokestacks detail are really neat. It's really nice. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be asked. There's a lot that's being asked for with such a figure, such a design, in what the budgets were for this figure. Originally, when I saw this figure, I thought, it's not a huge upgrade or update from the 2017 version, but getting this figure in hand really shows how much of an update it was. And yes, part of that reason of it being an upgrade is it's because it's a leader class price point, so more engineering was able to put into this figure. The details on him, however, has definitely increased. That head sculpt is so much better than the 2017 head sculpt. And even the paint applications, even though it's limited, it's way better than that 2017. The head is so nice. It's ripped right out of the movie. I mean, the only flaw I think this really has is how they painted that eye area blue, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, with the design they made them more humanoid, so therefore he had pupils instead of just his whole eyepiece being being blue. I zoomed out a bit just so you guys could see, but compared to the 2017 version, this guy is a lot more proportionate. The chest is robust, and also the torso is the perfect length when paired with the legs. The 2017, it had a regular sized torso, however the legs were slightly longer, the arms were kind of lengthy, and he was kind of skinny. But that was just because of budget at the end of the day. But coming into his chest area, it is looking absolutely sick with the mold. And I can't really talk about the paint because this guy doesn't have a lot of paint going for him. But what paint he does have is really what this figure needed. Well, what this figure needed more of. The gold is really nice, and I just wish that if they did anything with this gray plastic, it could have been a little bit more of like a dry brushing, maybe add some like depth to it. His arms in the product shots did look a little bit skinny, but in person they are robust and nice. If this is gonna like not mess with me, they're robust and nice, and they're detailed really nicely. The articulation is definitely there with the arms. You can get this guy into a fair good amount of poses. The legs, there's a lot of molded in details, and like one of my favorites, and if they could even made this happen, is like these molded like wire chains or whatnot. I really like that. That was a nice added touch. But coming down to the bottom, there's the kneecaps, and this part I really like. I really like how the knee and the shin is done. However, when you come closer to the like shin area, I'm not sure how focused it is. When you come closer to the shin area, it's not like, well, it doesn't have the Cybertronian hieroglyphics or like whatever he had in the movie, but it's not too bad. And from a front angle, it doesn't look bad at all. It looks quite great, if I'm being honest. It's until you get to the side, and then the inside, you see a bunch of truck bits. But that's alright. He comes with 4 pieces of accessories, and starting off from weakest to strongest, we have his sheath, and it holds the sword and the shield. The shield pegs in right there, and then the sword just slides right in there, and this pegs into his back, which I'll show you in a second. The next accessory that he comes with is the Energon blade, and obviously it doesn't look very much like an Energon blade because it's unpainted. Yeah, painted in the silver. No signs of orange, flame, yellow, red anywhere. But it's okay, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be displaying him with this. The next piece of accessory he comes with is the shield. And the shield is also unpainted, but while being unpainted, it brings, well, it's not unpainted, but it does have like a lot of areas that it could have gotten paint. While being unpainted, it does have a lot of details. And when you come in, you see that close up, especially with the way that it's molded. And like I said, or like if you've seen earlier, you may have seen this. It does split apart, and yeah, this is part swarming. Boo-hoo, you'll be alright. It does split apart. Does split apart. Come on. And that becomes his cannon, shield cannon. That's really neat. It's really neat that they went out their way to do this. But I'm still not going to be displaying it like that, even though that is really, really nice. The final piece of accessory, and obviously my favorite and a lot of people's favorite, is definitely the Sword of Judgment. The Sword of Judgment, it looks wonderful, even though the only place that paint is the hilt. But there's a lot of like nice molded details going on there. If you'll just like take a look. It would have been nice if there was some chrome going. It does split, and that's just to fit into his arm and close it back up. But I just really just clip it into his arm, because doing that over time, it could possibly wear down the plastic for that area, making it loose and fall apart. But that's hopefully not gonna happen. Weapon storage on him is pretty neat. What we'll go ahead and get started with is the sheath, and then we'll grab the shield while we're at it and just drop it, I guess. Peg this right into place, just like so. And then what I like to do, just to give it some scenery, is just tilt it slightly. So therefore, once we grab the sword, we can just add it right in there. And then it'll look like that once it's on his back. I want to come to his back and just rotate this piece right up, revealing that slot. And like I said before, this will just peg right in there, like so. And then he can have it on his back looking like that. And from the front on perspective, it's a little bit terrible, and that's mainly because of the whole top of the truck area where the windows would be is just sitting right there. But it's alright. I mean, it's weapon storage. And then the other weapon that you can store is the energon blade, which has that slot, and then there's a tab on this end or this end that the energon blade just, if it will, that's a bit blurry. Tab right in right there, just like that. Simple, easy weapon storage. Before I get into transformation, I'll just give you a quick tour on articulation. The head is on a ball joint. It can look up about that far. It can look to the side and tilt to the side about that far on both ends. It can look straight and also tilt, which gives it a fair amount of head articulation. The shoulder pad is on a double hinge. It's also on a rotating piece right here. So you can move it out and rotate this all the way around. Getting his shoulder piece into some good like motion poses once you're posing him. The shoulder does move out that far, and then it rotates all the way around. It does have to move a little bit out the way once it's back here if you want it to, because the backpack is right there. There is a fully 360 bicep swivel and a double bend at the elbow that is primarily for transformation. The wrist is on a swivel, but it's also on a bend, which is not for transformation, or at least what I know. And then the fingers do open. Coming down to the waist, the hip skirts can move out, both side and front, which allows him to do to swivel. And if you move the backpack out the way, he can swivel all the way around. The thigh also has a swivel that lets you rotate the legs all the way around. It kicks out about that far. When it comes to the side, it kicks back about that far with the backpack in the way. But if it's out the way, it kicks back really far. There's a bend at the knee, but I forgot to show, it kicks forward about that far. And then there is ankle tilt. The toe can point down due to transformation, so can the heel spur. But that's about it. Oh, and ankle swivel. That's about it for articulation wise. Oh, look at that. Unironically just got him into a pretty alright pose. Getting started with transformation, what you're going to do is you're just going to come to the back and you're going to untab these pieces on both ends, and then you're just going to straighten it out just like that. And then what you'll do next is just bring this backpack out and rotate it around, and then you can go ahead and flip the front grille The next thing I'll do to make everything easy is just move this out the way and then rotate this all the way around. So then you can just bend it right there and then do it on the other side. Rotate it around, just bend it right there at that double bend, and yeah, just keep it like that for now. I'm not too fond of the engineering for the next step, but it is what it is, and it works. So the next step is just you'll untab the back from the chest area and just fold this bit out just like so. And then what you're gonna want to do from there is just fold this piece out, and then just, if you'll work with me, just, yeah, get that piece, fold it out like that, and fold it back down. Then there's a tab right here, and that slot, you'll just go ahead and tab it in right there, and then a tab right there, and a slot at the bottom of the shoulder piece that you'll just go ahead and tab right in. What you're gonna do next is you're just gonna untab this piece and fold it all the way out like that, and then you're gonna take this like lower abdomen and just fold it in. It will tab in just like so. And then what you can do next is just fold these hip skirts, side ones, up like that. And once you're done with that, you'll just go ahead and untab this bit, bring it out to the side. The next step, you'll just bring these two arms together, which will clip in right down the middle, and then there's that area right there. This whole alignment will slide in for truck mode. What you're gonna do next is you're just gonna bring this bit like that, and we're just gonna align it so therefore we can tab this front grille right into the side bumper, or well, fender, right? Fender, right? Yeah. And then next, just align everything, fold this piece down, which we'll just tab in, fold the other piece down, make sure that's good, make sure everything tabs in, and then you can just rest this piece down. That's the front. Next step is pretty simple. All you have to do is just fold the front skirt up and then rotate the waist all the way around. I apologize if there's any background noise. The fan is on because it's hot, but let's continue. Anyways, the next step, you're going to untab this back panel, and then you're going to just untab it from the side, and then you can fold this piece down and fold this out and just bring this whole. Repeat it on the other side. The next step you'll want to do is just come to the bottom and just fold this piece in and then rotate it out to the side just like that, and then move this out the way so you can see. You're just gonna unpeg the wheel and then bring this whole bit out, which is on a double hinge, so you want to move it all the way out, and then you'll fold the trailer hitch out, and then you're just gonna tab the wheel back in. Repeat the same thing on the other side, and then once you're done with that, you're gonna tab the legs together. And tabbing it together on camera is a challenge for me, but we're gonna work with it. And once you're done with the bottom right there, we'll just tab this piece together. If it'll tab together, clip at the top, make sure that's chilled, make sure that's chilled right there. Yeah. And now what you're gonna do is just move this out the way. So once we put this piece down and rotate this piece in, rotate this other piece in, so when we connect it, it aligns on this end, and then aligns on that end, and then you'll just want to tab in at the top. It gives me a challenge on camera, of course, because why not make me struggle on camera. Just like that. Yeah, just like that. And then you'll then just like align that and push it back down. The last step is really simple. All you'll do is with that double hinge, slide it back down and push it in. And that will just tab in right there at the bottom. And then on the other side, here's the bottom view. You'll just fold it in and push that piece down, and that will just tab in right there at the bottom, just like that. And here we have him all transformed up into his really amazing truck mode. Really amazing. The focus point was definitely this mode, and boy is it really, really great. It is absolutely stunning. And something I really literally just noticed was that freaking hole right there. I kind of don't like that. If some upgrade kit comes out in the future, please have like a little gap filler for that, please. But anyways, continuing, the flame detail is really, really great. It's really nice. I mean, my figure, it doesn't look like it tabs together like the best, so everything might not look aligned, but that's as best I can get it. It rolls really properly, and it's trailer hitch compatible. So if you have a trailer nearby, or if you collected 86 Optimus Prime, 86 Optimus Prime's trailer does work really nice with this fella, and it pairs nice. Let me just zoom out a bit. It pairs really nice with him. It's a nice look, and even though this is G1 and this is Bayverse, it's really neat. It's really nice. And if I was to like display him in truck mode, he's definitely getting 86 Prime's trailer more than 86 Prime would. I'll let you take a guess on which is the original 2017 version and which is the new updated Studio Series. Well, if you're blind, obviously I'm going to point out that, dang, this truck mode, it absolutely obliterates the 2017. The proportions, even in truck mode, are a whole lot better, and the detailing is a whole lot better. The way that the flames are on this newer one is so much better than that original, because it was just like a few flame details and just red painted. And not to mention, this was a, well, still a glorified shell former, but a shell former. And don't get me wrong, this guy's also a glorified shell former, but the better one, the more engineered one, the better looking twin. Weapon storage is just as if you were going to put a trailer on, but the other thing is this little blade. It just connects right into the side right there, just like so. And here he has full weapon storage for every single thing. Rolling around, all neat, all nice. I do want to know your guys' thoughts on this figure in the comments below. Please let me know. And if you disagreed with anything in this video I said, make it known in the comments. Don't be rude about it. Like I said, we all have our opinions, and if you have some sort of information you would like to enlighten me on, go ahead and enlighten me on it. But at the end of the day, this is my opinion. We're all entitled to our own. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. I do want to apologize for my lateness with recording this video or any of my other reviews. I have been really busy lately with things going on in my outside life.